Hi everyone, welcome to Challenge Accepted. And this week Shannon and I have chosen to play along with the Scrap Timber Challenge that's been going on all month. And the prompt for the 24th is hearts. So I will be using hearts on my layout. And I'm going to add to it the recipe from Chef Rochelle, recipe number 19 from Spoonful of Scraps, and it's for 5 page-length chevrons and 5 other same shapes. So my 5 other same shapes will be hearts and stitching. And you see the Band-Aid that's here. I had not a stitching accident, but actually a craft room reorganization accident. And I'm dealing with what happens when you take blood thinners and get just a simple, what you might think is a scratch. And I did some sewing earlier, I guess later last week, that where I punctured myself trying to push the needle through some kind of hard material. So I'm off stitching. My sewing machine is kind of on the blink at the moment because I took something apart that I wasn't supposed to. So I'm using fake stitching, and I'm hoping that the Spoonful ladies will be forgiving of an old woman who takes blood thinners. So I'm going to do the chevrons. I'm not going to do a lot of embellishing here. I'm using Paige Evans' new collection, Go the Scenic Route. And I've got some puffy stickers here and some chipboard. I guess I should open the chipboard package. And so there are hearts galore in here. And because my page is about a transformation that has taken place in the last year for Ava, this was a picture of her a year ago yesterday, and this is a picture of her about a week and a half ago. So you can see how much of her hair that she had lost and how much weight she'd lost due to chemo. And this is her head full of curly hair. And the filter that I used is from Prisma, and it's called Curly Hair. And what it does, it converts the page to black and white, but if there are any really predominant colors, like the color of her shirt and the color of the ceiling here, it kind of mutes them and adds a lot of white in on them. So it gives it kind of an artistic effect. It doesn't really change facial features or anything else around. So it's not a real, what do I want to say? It's not a filter that makes, it's not a filter that distorts things. So for my background, I pulled a page out of the 12 by 12 paper pad for Go the Scenic Route, and it's ombre butterflies. And I love that idea since it's about transformation. And I'm going to put my chevrons kind of starting in the middle up here and kind of going off and coming kind of, I'm going to have 4 of them. And I'd like the photos to be kind of over here. I want to see which color butterflies get covered up. So I'm covering up some of the blue, and there's a lot of blue, a nice swath of blue right there. So I don't feel like I'm losing anything. So this is the right orientation for it. So now I'm going to take the 6 by 8 paper pad and select patterns to cut my chevrons out of. And I'm going to just hand cut, and they will be what they will be. Not gonna really worry a whole lot about shape or whether they're symmetrical or not. So that's going to be one. And it's clearly not symmetrical and doesn't necessarily have a great shape. let's see what else. There is a blue pattern in here, so I'm gonna go, let's try this, and I'm kind of gonna try to make each one different. Just for the interest in it. Kind of angle that one back. Okay, so that one's kind of completely different from that. There, let's see if there are any other good. I like this green with the birds, and I expect I can have some whole birds in here as I do it. Let's make sure I do by cutting that way. Okay, there. And this white is a beautiful pattern, but I think it would get lost on this background. So I'm going to go with this orange, and it has some blue foil. It's the blue foil that she's included on these paper pads is just beautiful. And it's unusual. It gives you a touch of sparkliness where you're not expecting it, and in a color that you're not necessarily expecting. Okay, so I've got my 4 chevrons, and we're going to make them kind of go across the page. I'm going to lift them up on foam. I cut some strips beforehand, so I'm going to put them kind of wonky. I want the bird one to be maybe at the top so that we can see the birds, because they're such cute, colorful, pretty birds. And so there'll be birds and butterflies and hearts, all the good things in life here, because even with COVID and all the nastiness there, seeing her transformation kind of makes you realize that, yeah, compared to last year, life is good. So, and she's going to hate that I scrapped that photo, but it's going to be on Facebook, which neither she nor her friends look at a lot. So I might do that and kind of cross over it that way, and then do this one, and then let's see if that works. I'll do that. Maybe I'll do it so that it looks like I think this one may be a little too long. So I'll cut it down and then cut the foam off. Maybe do it like that, and then the photos can still do this. Maybe I'll put them a little off to the side, since I'm going to do them that way, and they won't really... Okay, there. That makes it truly page length, and then it gives me a spot to put my photos, and I can even overlap a bit. Okay, let me just get these on there. Like I said, I really don't expect to use a lot of embellishments. Do that. And then I'll tilt the other one the other way, kind of like so. And then this one kind of reaches the bottom over here, and that's exactly what I wanted. And you'd think I placed the foam knowing what that, I put the foam on knowing what that placement will be, but I didn't. Okay, so that's there. Let's put the photos on and then we'll figure out what kinds of embellishments we want. Maybe like that would work. That kind of covers up some of these junctures over here. It makes it just a tiny bit less busy. Okay, so now I'm going to find stitching that would be appropriate for each of these and maybe add a little stitching to those chevrons. So I'm gonna do that. And snip it here, and I have enough to go back down the other way. Let me get this here. And by adding by placing everything beforehand, I covered up areas where I don't have to waste stitching. In some colors, I'm kind of running a little low. So there we go. That's good on there. Now I'm looking for a blue. I've got this dark blue. Speaking of dark blue, the dark blue foil on that leopard skin print is just gorgeous in person. I hope you can see some of that. Paige Evans, many of you know I'm on a spending freeze, and I have two designer exceptions, as well as, basics, white or black cardstock, adhesive, things like that. But I also have exceptions, and I have exceptions for kit subscriptions. And I also have exceptions for anything during the freeze that Paige Evans designs and puts up for sale and allows me to purchase. And the other is anything that Vicki Boutin designs. So I think I'm going to use this green on this one. So I want to maybe use this lavender. There's a little bit, well, that green would be better. So, but I still want to use this lavender on the leopard skin because it's one of the colors in this ombre-ish background there. So, and yes, I know this would be even more amazing if I hand-stitched around the edges or even up the middle like I'm doing here. But I think this gives me the same effect without any danger to my my health. So I'm thinking it's a win. Okay, now my mint green, let's go with that. That's such a pretty color. I have to make sure I don't cover up. I have a whole bird, quite a few whole birds there. Just want to make sure I don't cover up any birds. I don't want to. So I'll put this one right above that bird, kind of weave that one in there. I'll go over the tail of that one, and I'll stop it right there. And then as I go down, I'll try to make it go not over this bird's face. So you'll get to see the cute little bird face. Okay, I'll stop it here. And I have to, this one has kind of twisted around. It's adhesive. I'm gonna really hate when I run out of this. I found it at a kind of a salvagey sort of place in near Denver. My friend from high school, Robbie, took me there, and I loved it. So for a title, I thought I would use something like, I like this Happiness is Here. Better Together would be good. Let's see if there's anything here. Well, there's this nice big heart that says life is beautiful. And I like that, and it's kind of the right message. So let me see. Does anybody else have trouble getting chipboard pieces out? And it's chipboard, so I know I need to adhere it with some glue. So having my title on a heart, I think is good for the challenge. So I need 5 hearts. So that's 1. And I have this. Here is one that highlights that smile, because you just can't find a bigger, more beautiful smile than this one from last year. She's a little reserved with her smile here, but okay, that looks okay. What's bothering me a little bit here is this is now pretty well stuck to that photo, and a little corner of that photo is going to kind of stick out over this. Let me see if I can trim that off. Close enough. I can maybe coax that back with my tweezers. There we go. Okay, that's perfect. Now, let me find some other embellishments. I love the flowers here, but I think I want to use, well, let me get the hearts on there that need to be there. I'll do one puffy heart there, and I'll do kind of an orange one. I've got to get that dark blue, and then one here, and then I'll put this dark blue one here. I love the navy blue in this collection. She's always had a pretty navy blue. This one is kind of, okay, so I like that. And there are some dots, but I think I want to do maybe a flower right there. So I'm going to go back over to this giant chipboard floral. I didn't bring the ephemera out here because I really didn't think I would use any flowers, but there's kind of a perfect spot. And then I think that may be all I need to do. Let's see, do I want it here or do I want to tuck it under? I kind of like the tucked under look, but now it sticks. Okay, let me get that back down. I'm gonna overlap it. There. And that leaves a little bit of exposed glue right here where it touched, but that's gonna dry clear and matte, so you won't be able to tell it was there. And let me take one of the butterflies from here. Which one do I want? I like the Well, you know, there are enough butterflies on the background. So I'm going to call this one done. I had these little puffy hearts, but I don't think I need to use those. It said 5. Oh, I needed 5 page length chevrons. Oh my gosh, I cut 4. Okay, let's go back and cut one that will fit right down here. And do I cut it out? I cut it out. Let me cut it out of a different pattern. Wow. Okay, here's where maybe I can do a page that has butterflies on it. Yes, let's do that. It has a similar color to that. So I'm going to reject that idea and go to a nice pink right here. And I'm going to cut it just freehand with that still in the page. There, oh, okay, I cut it wrong. And I can do that. And I have to find some pink thread. I think I have some. It's kind of ombre. And I'll get the thread on it. And then I'll figure out where I can put it without hiding too many birds. Or maybe I stick it kind of under the birds. We'll see how that is. My adhesive, the reason I'm working fast is that my adhesive hasn't dried yet, and it should be easy to pull up anything that I need to pull up. So much for reading the instructions aloud, sharing them with you, and then not following them. So, kind of the story of my life. Okay, let me get this one cut kind of up here because I didn't start any of the others right down at the bottom. Okay, and if I put it under, then I don't need adhesive on it. So, let me pull this up. And I'll sneak that in right there, and then put that over. That's, I think, gonna work. There we go. Okay. Good that I checked before I went any farther. That actually works there, and then this goes right over top of it. So we're good. Let me get this. The foam now has to go over that stitching, but that's okay. All right, so I've got my 5 chevrons in, kind of luckily enough, the way that they're done. I've got my 5 hearts in, and I've got my 2 adorable photos. So thank you for watching. I appreciate all of your support, and stay tuned on Saturday for my next reveal in my organizing series. You know what I'm going to do is stick a little bit of foam back there to prop the top of this chevron up. Okay, there we go. Thank you very much. See you next week, and have a great weekend. Bye.